talk real quick?
You talk real quick.
Talk real quick again.
You talk real quick again.
Okay. All right, everybody. So let me turn this down. Johanna decided that she wants to do the intro song. She wants to make the intro song to our podcast. So who am I to tell her no? Who am I to tell her to not live her dream? Right, babe?
That's right.
Okay. So do you want to intro us to our podcast?
Well, I feel like you should introduce me, and then I'll introduce you.
No. Everybody.
You pretend that you're me.
No. Why would I do that?
Because I'm about to pretend that I'm you.
First of all, that's not what you said. That's
how the beginning of it goes. Okay, I'll start, and then you finish, okay? My name is Leon, I'm so weird. I have a little black curly beard. I do not like when you touch my gut. Oh, wait, we shouldn't say that on here. Wait, hold on, I've got to change the song. Can I start over?
So
I can't say but on this.
So pretty much what's happening is that Johanna is a songwriter, and for the duration of our relationship, she's been making songs about me with the melody of a certain 90s song. How does it go, babe? How does the actual song go?
For all those times you stood by me.
Okay, stop. So I don't even know how. I didn't start singing that song. I don't know. I didn't know she knew that song. Like, and she just brought up, my name is Leon, I'm so weird. One day, like literally in the beginning of our relationship. So
that's when you knew that you loved me.
That's when I knew. Speaking of our relationship, what's today, babe? What's the special occasion?
Today is the occasion of you loving me for 10 months.
I have loved you for 10 months, haven't I?
Yes.
It's been great. 10 months ago today, I asked Johanna to be my girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. What did I say?
You was like, I'll think about it. What did you say? All right. So how did that... Okay. So first of all, we're going to preface this by saying that we are starting a podcast, right?
Right.
And we're going to have fun with this podcast. The podcast is mainly about relationships and encouraging people in relationships. Our relationship, and our proposal, our engagement, and soon to be marriage. Right? You excited?
I'm excited.
Yeah. So we're just gonna start by talking about like what the last 10 months has been, because it's been incredible. But I'll tell my side of the story like later. But how's the last 10 months for you been, babe?
Last 10 months for me has been exceptionally fun, and I feel like I've grown a lot, maybe more than I have in my whole life, because I feel like our relationship is unique, and it has unique challenges to it. Mm-hmm. Not that everybody's relationship doesn't have its own hardships and everything,
right?
But I think that we have unique difficulties, but I think also like a unique advantage.
Right. That's a good way to put it, actually. Yeah, we have a very we had a very interesting start to our relationship. And it was great though. I think there's so much growing and learning, especially in ours. Not that like Johanna said, it's, you know, not like the other people don't have challenges in their relationship, you know, but also I think we have the gift of taking our challenges and figuring it out, moving past it to get to the fun part. Right.
That's the only reason I'm here.
See, here's the thing. I'm more of a glass half empty kind of guy, and Johanna's a more glass full kind of guy. So she's a little bit more like, you know, let's get to the fun part. And I'm like, no, let's sit down so that, you know, but I think it's great because it balances us out.
Right.
It's made the last 10 months very interesting, but very fun at the same time.
Right. Do I make you happy?
You made me so happy. I love you so much.
I love you more. I love you the mostest, rat.
I love you the most, this rat. So
You're gonna have to explain that.
So one night, it was like it was late, and we were texting and stuff like that, and like we always tell each other good night, and we love each other, and all this gushy stuff.
Syrupy, gushy.
It's weird. You guys would be
stuff.
You guys would be really uncomfortable listening to our text messages. I don't know who listens to text messages, babe. I don't know, not me. Anyway, and we were both tired, so Johanna was like, I was like, I love you. Johanna said, I love you the most. And I was like, I love you the mostest. So Johanna went to go write, I love you the mostest, like normal people. But she was so tired that she wrote, I love you the mostest rat. So she started laughing and proceeded to
I sent you gifts of naked mole rats. And
she sent me a gif of a rat in a sink taking a shower.
It was naked, though.
It was naked, like hairless.
Yes.
The cringe was real. I stopped talking to her. I didn't talk to her for like a week after that.
That's not true. Don't lie to these people.
I couldn't resist talking to her. But yeah, babe, I love you so much. Like you've made my life significantly better over the past 10 months.
You've made my life significantly better, rat.
Okay, so what do you think has been the biggest learning for you? What have you learned the most in the past 10 months of dating me, Leon Bennett?
I have learned a lot, but I think that one of the things that I've learned the most would be just communication and how to maturely resolve issues with each other. I think that, you won't deny that I think that our relationship, like pretty much from the beginning, neither of us, I guess, are people that if there's an issue or something that irritates us or something that makes us uncomfortable, will we sit there for an extended amount of time and stir over it?
Yeah, like we are not passive.
Yeah, it might happen a few times, and then I'm like, listen, babe, you needed to quit. So pretty early on in our relationship, did we have to learn how to deal with conflict?
Yeah.
And it's different when, you're with somebody and you love this person. So it's not just you know what? I hate you. You're stupid. I'm breaking up with you type of thing. Like you have to actually learn about each other and how each other argues. And
I mean, it's the epitome of commitment. Like the other person does something that you're like, what are you doing? Like, I do not. And you don't have to do anything. You choose to stay. You choose to. What do you want? I wish there was a video.
Are we talking about the pimple thing yet? Are we gonna?
No, we can't talk about the pimple thing. Like, no. Anyway, and yeah, I mean, we had like, because so out of the both of us, I'm probably the most confrontational, right? Would you say so?
I would say so. I'm not necessarily someone that's afraid of confrontation. Like, I will engage in it for sure if it's necessary, but I don't like it. I don't look for it.
Right. Right. And I wouldn't say I don't. It's not that I look for it. It's just that, I feel like that's the way. I'd much rather fight it out than be nice about it and then still have feelings of like resentment or anything like that. She's rolling her eyes at me right now, y'all. In the beginning of our relationship, I don't even remember what our first argument was or whatever. I don't remember nothing. Like, let's just say
I remember what it was.
Our first argument?
Pretty sure that it had something to do with physical touch.
Oh my gosh.
That
was our first argument?
Yes. This man is sitting there telling me that we cuddle too much and he doesn't like when I rub his chest.
It was true. Well, okay, so I guess backstory is important. So if you don't know, which, I mean, if you're listening, you probably do know us, but if you don't know us personally and you don't really know our story, we both live in Florida. I'm not gonna tell you exactly where we live, like addresses and crap, but we both live in Florida, but we're not both from Florida. I'm from New York and Johanna's from Idaho. Born in Montana, born and raised, gangsta.
Yes.
Right.
I used to wrestle with cows.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't. That's not.
Yeah, that's weird. Don't do that.
I don't think I've ever touched
cows.
a cow.
Anyway, so So I grew up in a not lack of affection, but you know, I just didn't grow up in a family where affection was really a thing.
Your mom's gonna listen to this and be very offended.
She might be, and she'll be fine. She'll be all right. She's probably laughing at this right now, actually, the fact that we're even doing a podcast. But I grew up in a household where affection wasn't really like a thing, you know,
physical
like
affection.
physical affection, yeah. Because my parents told me they love me all the time, and so. But physical affection, like if somebody was crying or just even cuddling, like wasn't really that big of a deal. It wasn't necessary in my family, and there's things like that I say that used to get me in trouble all the time. So for me, I was never like a touchy person. I never touched people, What?
Excuse me. I just like to interrupt and let everybody know that Leon's apartment is at 77 degrees Fahrenheit.
Okay, yeah, but babe, just because you have a different, she's making my electricity bill.
I was like, why is the back of my neck sweating?
It's because you got hair coming in the back of your neck, babe, from the top of your head. And it's warming it up. It's like, anyway.
Well, the AC kicked on, so finish what you were saying.
So I didn't grow up really, really touchy. Anyway, so I get into this relationship and, I'm more of an apprehensive, like, yeah, we'll ease into the whole cuddling thing or whatever. And Johanna wasn't really like that. So Johanna came in full on cuddling. So I said to her, I was like, this whole cuddling thing, if we could probably just chill out a little bit, and kind of do it in moderation, or like touching my chest was a big one because Johanna would have her arm. She still does it, but it doesn't bother me anymore. But like she would have her arm like in my shirt from like the neck, scratching my chest. And I was like, yo, what are you doing? It's like, what is this? So anyway, I thoroughly offended Johanna in the beginning of our relationship about that, because her love language is physical touch and mine is not.
Right. Well, I'm also I won't speak for all women, because all women probably aren't necessarily happen to cuddle with their significant others consistently, but I think that most women will expect cuddling and physical affection when they're in a relationship, especially with such a handsome man as you.
You better talk about it.
I'm just here for the looks. Were we going to talk about that, or we're not going to talk about that either on here?
The looks?
About our first meeting at Starbucks?
I don't remember. No, we're not talking about that. No.
The beginning of our relationship was a whole string of super weird,
it was very weird
events. That I think that's important to take a little break in our discussion and just explain some of those things, because I think people will understand our relationship a little bit better.
Okay.
So starting from the very beginning, we were talking and Leon said that he plays instruments. So I was like, oh my gosh, when can I see you play guitar? And he asked me to come to his church because he leads worship. So I showed up there. I picked out a very nice little black dress. How did you like the dress? It was
amazing. I mean, when I tell you, like, I was in the throne room, and then she walked in, and I was like, why'd she do that? Why she had to do that? What? Are you good?
Yeah, my sound went out for a minute.
Oh, okay. I was like, why she had to do that? Like, why she came in here looking that good? And then she sat right in front of me. But anyway, we don't got to talk about that. Go ahead.
Well, then after service, he had to edit the sermon video. So I went in his office with him, and I was sitting next to him. And I was just kind of low-key checking him out a little bit while he was working. And I noticed that the top of his hand was like shining in the light. Like it looked like a pair of freshly shaved legs. And
why you said legs like that? Why you say freshly shaved legs?
Most people know what some nice shaved legs with some fresh lotion.
Are we talking about men here?
Some men do it. Athletes do it.
Okay, and continue.
I don't really remember it, but apparently Leon said that I was stroking the top of his hand.
Don't lie and say you don't remember this.
Well, I don't remember the thought process behind it.
Oh, okay.
Because to repeat it, it sounds like, why in the heck was she touching his hand? But it was just so shiny. It was kind of like like a diamond or something. Like you have to touch it. So I was kind of stroking his hand.
With her finger.
Yes. I don't know what else I'd be stroking it with. Anyways.
Her foot or something. Anyway, yeah.
Oh, I wasn't that weird. I was in a dress. Anyways. And literally, okay, because I know people that shave their arms. And I know people that shave like random other, like their chest and stuff. So I was like, can I ask you a personal question?
And just stop you right there. When I tell you, my nerves went through the roof. I got so nervous because anytime somebody has asked me about that, it's always been about sex. So like I got super duper nervous. I was like,
How
yo,
many sexual partners have you had?
None.
No, I'm just kidding.
Oh, I was like, excuse me? Oh, that's the question you would have asked. Yeah.
Right.
Because that is like something I've been asked before. Or like, are you a virgin or whatever?
Completely inappropriate.
Yeah, and I'm like, so when you said that, I'm like, dude, you're not about to ask me if I'm a virgin. In my office. Like,
I'm not that weird. I wouldn't ask such a weird question.
Yeah. Anyway, so she asked, can I ask you a personal question? And I said, sure. And then
I was like, do you shave your hands?
Threw me all the way off. I was like, this girl's weird. I was like, she's weird. I was like, no.
I told my mom about this when I got home, and she was like, why would you say that?
Yeah,
on the first time meeting this
gosh.
guy.
Oh my gosh. So then that happened, and then we went to. So I finished editing the video, and I was supposed to meet my friends at First Watch. So I was like, "Do you want to come to First Watch with me?" Which is it's like a breakfast restaurant.
Oh, I forgot about
locally.
This part altogether.
So then we headed over to First Watch, and mind you, on the way there, because this is the first time we've ever hung out. Like we've seen each other around, but we never really hung out like that before. And on our way there, I was like, you know what, bro? When I say like we're not passive, I mean like we're really not passive. So in my head, I'm like, I'm about to just ask you. Like, so I was like, so I'm feeling a little bit of interest coming from your end. Am I bugging? And she was like, no. No, I'm definitely interested. Are you interested? And I was like, yeah. And then you were like, okay, well, you know, if you ever find yourself to not be interested, just let me know and don't waste my time.
Hey, I mean, come on, ladies. What is worse than when a guy is completely wasting your time altogether? You could be talking to somebody else. So
anyway, but I mean that was really attractive to me because, you know, I was like, wow, like this is somebody who she doesn't have to be driving me to First Watch right now, which by the way, you were driving me. Mm-hmm. Anyway, so we had that conversation, so we were on the same page, but I hadn't told any of my friends yet. Like, so now I'm kind of private when it comes to this kind of stuff, so I don't really always share. So we get to First Watch, and some of my friends were leaving, and they were dating. They're also dating. They're currently dating right now. I said were, like they broke up. They didn't. And she keeps touching my cheesecake. We're eating cheesecake, so and she keeps touching mine with her finger, and it's kind of weird. And anyway, so
I'm not gonna explain why.
Because there's literally no reason why you should be.
Right. So moving forward.
So you know, our friend was like, oh, okay, when we walked. So I'm like, oh crap. So we get there. Now if you know me, you know that I love First Watch and I love $1 Million bacon. Right.
$1 Million bacon is bacon with maple syrup on it and
brown
pepper
sugar.
And brown sugar. Mm-hmm. It's very delicious.
And
so I found
chives,
out.
Right? I think it's chives, or is it is the green stuff chives?
Yes.
Yeah. She judged me hardcore just now. And we got there and we're sitting down. We sit down and most of my friends are there and stuff like that. And so I get my $1 Million bacon. Now, mind you, I do not share food. I don't share. So we sit there and without asking, Johanna reaches over and picks up one of my bacon. So I grab it with the quickness.
No, I I asked as I reached over and grabbed it.
Right.
I said, "Do you mind if
'Cause
I
that's much
have
better.
one of these?"
That's much better. I will almost rather you just grab it, to be honest with you. Can I have one as you're putting your mitts on my $1 million bacon? So I grab it, and now we're kind of playing tug of war, a light tug of war with the $1 million bacon. And my friends are sitting there like looking at me like, "Yo, what are you gonna do?" And so I looked at her and I was like, "I'm not about to embarrass this girl." So I was like, "Yeah, you can have it." And that sealed the deal. All my friends were like, "Leon likes this girl."
Well, then we went to the park because Leon was going to play basketball with his friends. Coincidentally, I had a nice swimsuit in the car.
Coincidentally.
Completely random. So I changed into my swimsuit, and I was kind of swimming with the girls.
Hottest day of the year, too. It was awful.
Yes. But I was prepared.
Mm-hmm.
So we're swimming. Leon would not swim in the pool with me. Hater. And so then I had gotten out of the pool, and I'm standing next to him. And this is the first time he's ever really hung out. I'm in my red bikini, and he's kind of looking me up and down. And you know what this man says to me? He goes, "You have nice..."
You have nice feet.
No, you said you have nice toes.
I said toes?
You said toes specifically.
Oh, wow.
I was like, that's the sweetest thing any man's ever said to me.
She actually said thank you. I was like, yeah, you're welcome.
Yeah. Then the next nice thing he said to me was, as he's looking me up and down, he's like, "Just don't ever wear heels when you're with me."
So if you don't know, Johanna's tall. And I'm also tall, but I don't know why it seemed like you were taller back then.
I'm 5'9.5", and he's like 6 or 6'1".
I'm 6'1" and 7/16.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, he's 6'1" and 7/16 or whatever.
Yeah, get it right.
So even when I do wear high heels, he's still taller than me. But that's just not what you say to a girl on the first time you hang out with her. She's fine.
No, because then look at her. We have a cat, and we have 3 cats between the both of us.
You don't have to tell them that. Then we sound like crazy cat people.
2 of them are at my house, and one of them likes to climb on my dining table. Can you get come down?
Stop. Her name's Princess. She has a rhinestone collar, and she's just chilling. She's just fine. She wants to be part of it. Anyway,
so that was the beginning of our relationship, pretty much, for the most part. So babe, so what was the greatest lesson that you've learned over these past 10 months? Because we've been engaged for 4. We've been engaged all of Rona. This whole Rona has been our engagement.
Yes, it's been thrilling.
And we've been through a lot of ups and downs and personal, like, you know, things that's happened and stuff like that. And we've had to like work through a lot as a couple and really be there for each other, be strong for each other. And, you know, so what have you learned being in a relationship with me over the past 10 months?
I've learned a lot. But I think that one of the things that I've learned and am probably still learning within, once again, the realm of like conflict resolution is, you know, standing up for if something does bother me, like not being afraid to bring it up, but also just gauging how to, you know, and I'm not always perfect with it, but gauging how to more calmly bring it to you with a tone of like, hey, this bothers me. Like, I'm not okay with it. But not in a, "Oh my gosh, Leon, this bothers me."
Yeah. Which you've been doing a great job at, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Have I ever yelled at you?
Yeah, you have. Wait, you mean like recently?
Yes.
No.
What did I yell at you about before?
I think it was the dishwasher. I think. Yeah. Anyway, we don't gotta go. I remember that. Yeah, that was a crazy one. But yeah, you yelled at me about the dishwasher once, and then it turned into like just a cleaning thing overall.
Your standards have improved.
They have thoroughly.
Yes.
So you would say that your biggest growth point was how to initiate conflict resolution, how to initiate, like, you don't like something, how do I say it, and how do I, you know, say it with love, pretty much.
Right. How do I say it in such a way that it's actually going to be received in the direction of resolution and not just, I'm frustrated about this and you suck.
Right. Because, and you've been doing a great job at that.
Thank you. And I have a question for you then.
Okay.
What is something that you feel like you have found out or that you've grown in liking that you didn't think that you liked before our relationship?
Cuddling, actually. It's actually really ironic.
Okay, well, we already talked about cuddling.
Okay, so something that I didn't like, something I didn't know I liked until we started getting to a relationship. I think outdoor stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't really an outdoorsy guy. Mind you, I'm a city boy, so like I fished way more
Right.
with you than I've done ever in my life. We've done a lot of hikes and walks and stuff.
Was it the alligators that really made you an outdoorsy guy?
Kayaking was fun, but it was also terrifying.
We saw a handful of alligators. I'm not trying to air you out, but I will.
No, you can air me out. I'll air myself out with this one because, boy.
We're kayaking, and we're, like he said, we live in Florida, and so we're kayaking back in this little creek area. It kind of turns, it's called Turkey Creek, and it kind of turns into like a Disney jungle trek type of atmosphere back there. And we're in our kayaks, and this man sees the first alligator, and no joke, it was like silent, and I hear behind me, "Hey, babe, can we go back?" I was like, no.
No, you're not telling the whole story, though. We saw the first alligator, and the alligator saw us, and Johanna was like, "Oh, let me go closer." And then she went a little closer, and then the alligator got in the water, and we saw how big the alligator actually was. And I was like, "Babe, can we go back now?" Because that thing just disappeared, and that thing will kill me. I cannot defend you against that thing.
See, but the alligators in Florida are pretty chill.
I don't want to hear that
You
crap.
see them sitting on the bank, and they're just basking in the sun like a lot of girls do here. And they see you, and you see it.
Did you just equate girls to alligators? I'm sorry. I just want to make sure that she...
Yes.
No shame at all, dude. You're just like, I did. If I said it now, it'd be...
They like basking in the sun. We like basking in the sun. They have to have tough skin. Women have to have tough skin.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent swimmers.
Right. Anyway, so...
will attack men if threatened. Anyways.
This is my point, actually. If they feel threatened, then they... Like, what if the alligator was like, "No, I just don't like him. He's ugly." Because, you know, so animals see us as ugly. So I'm like, what if the alligator was like, "Yo, he's ugly, bro. Like, he don't deserve to live. I'm about to just snuff this dude right now. It's over on site for him."
Well, in the Bible, I think it says something about that your days are numbered, and if that was
if
that
this
was
my
how
time,
you met Jesus, if that was your
this
time,
is my time to live as Christ and to die as gain, right, babe?
Yeah, at least you got to spend 10 months of your life with me. But
Man,
we had a great time, and we saw a lot of alligators. And Leon, was it a unique experience that you'd never experienced before?
Yeah, so I've never gone kayaking, and like it took me about an hour to figure out how to go as fast as Johanna was. She was going much faster than I was, and it was kind of frustrating me. I actually got upset for like 5 minutes because she kept saying to me, "Babe, just glide. And I'm like, "Dude, I'm gliding, but the wind is going against me." What, babe?
Bernard's eating something.
He's fine. He eats everything. That's why he's fat. He's a fat cat. But yeah, so that was a great experience, though. I'm actually glad that we went and that we did that.
We also have been running.
We've been running.
You ran a 5K with me.
I ran a 5K.
A couple weeks ago.
I ran a 5K.
Yes.
And the other day at the gym, I ran a mile in like 9 minutes and 30 seconds, which is like, you know, crazy. It's 2 minutes faster than my best before, right? No, it was a minute faster than my best before.
Yeah, something like that. And also just like going to the gym as a couple has also, I feel like, been a new part of our relationship. I mean, you've been to the gym obviously before in your life, but
right,
we've been going more consistently. We
have. That was a thing for me that like was a sacrifice because I didn't really want to go to the gym.
Right.
And but that was I guess one of the things that I've learned in these 10 months is that like I don't have to like it for me to do it.
Right.
Because if that if me doing something means that I get to do it with you and that's how you feel loved, then it's worth it. So like for me, you know, she's making weird faces at me. Like for me, if going to the gym makes you feel like, no, this makes me feel loved, then I'm willing to do that, because I guess I know that my goal and my job as your husband is to love you like Christ loved the church. Now that doesn't mean that I'm going to do everything that you want me to do. If like you're out here like, yo, let's go smoke some bud.
Ew.
Or like, you know what I'm saying? Or like, let's go rob a bank, because that would make me feel loved. Like, that's not really, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying.
And I'm not saying that Johanna has or has not asked me to do those things. I'm just saying that.
Okay. Well, do we want to talk about why we started going to the gym and started running? Because I said that that's my passion.
No, baby, you keep wanting to talk about stuff that's just weird. But I did tell Johanna that like she should. I've made a lot of mistakes. I have foot and mouth syndrome.
Okay, but it's funny to repeat now that it was in the past.
In the moment, it wasn't that funny, and
right,
I was half asleep.
It started a whole fight, but now you can look back on it and you can. It's called growth. You can tell other men.
It's called Leon. Shut up.
You can tell other young men not to say these things to their girlfriends.
So let's just get this one thing straight, men. If you feel like you should tell your girlfriend / fiance something, really pray about that, because like, and make sure you're not half asleep when you're saying it, because I was half asleep, and we were talking and stuff like that, and I said, you know, babe, I just feel like you should just have like a hobby and like a passion that isn't me. And that didn't go well.
Excuse me. And I was like, you know what? You want to know what my passion is? I was like, it's exercising. It's running. I used to do that before, and we don't do it very often. So I want to start running. And that was the consequence of your mistake. Now you had to start running with me.
It's a great consequence. I mean, like, yeah, I learned a lot through that kind of stuff. Like, I said the wrong thing. That's when the majority of the change happened. Like, I said something that I probably shouldn't have said, and then, you know, it made you. Because I just hate to see you feel like crap, you know, because of me. Like I hate that feeling of you know, like I said this and it now made you feel small.
Right.
Like I don't ever want to make you feel that way. So my way of fixing it is to just do the thing. Not that you want me to do. Does that make sense? Like
I know what you mean.
Yeah, like
I know what you mean.
I said, you know, you said now your passion is running. So now my thing is, well, now I got to put my money where my mouth is. And I have to join you in your passion as well, you know?
Right.
Because both of us have passion. I think we were talking about, like, my passion is music, which is a great segue to the fact that my song is releasing tomorrow.
It sure is. And everybody better go give it a listen, because I've already heard it, and it is dope. It's
bomb. And I haven't released a song in 4 years.
That's right.
And
it's great, though. It's quality work. Leon is very talented in that area. And so I'm excited for other people to hear it. You're talented in a lot of areas, though.
Like what, babe? My love language is words of affirmation.
Crickets. No, I'm just kidding. It's for sure in music, and I think it's also in service. It's in looking handsome. That's all the talents you have.
Service. Explain that one. What do you mean by service?
I think that you're talented in doing things for other people. That is, I consider that a gift. It's easier for me to do acts of service for people that I love and if I'm in the mood. But I feel like it really just comes naturally to you. Just doing things for people and being thoughtful and considerate. I mean, you're better at it than I am anyways.
Yeah. I always pride myself on having the ability to look at people and not agree with them, but still love them, you know?
Right.
And I remember growing up, and when I got my license and stuff like that, my sister handed her car down to me, and all my friends was like, bro, like
designated driver.
like, yo, can you pull up and bring me over to this place, into my girl's house, whatever. And I was like, yeah, bro, word.
See, and that's very sweet of you, because I would have been like, ha, get your own ride.
Mm-hmm.
You trying to give me money for chauffeuring you?
Right. Well, the amount of times my mom and my sister yelled at me, like, well, how was you gonna get there if let's say you didn't have a car, how were they gonna get there? Like, and I'm like, I don't care. It doesn't matter, so but yeah, I've kind of, 'cause I always want people to do that for me, like,
right. So are you volunteering to drive whenever we go places from here forward?
That's not what I said.
I think
That's not what I said.
You did.
I mean, I drive everywhere anyway with you. And can we just talk about like how one of your ways of growing, which you're really struggling at this current moment, is letting me know when the exit is coming?
I do let you know, though.
Yeah, you let me know as we're passing the exit. You're pointing and you're like, oh, we were supposed to get off right there. And your finger follows the exit backward. One time we almost
you know.
One time we almost died on our way to Orlando to go look at a venue because Johanna decided, I'm not gonna tell my. Were we engaged at that?
We were not engaged yet.
We were almost engaged, but we were looking for venues.
You had not been promoted yet.
I was waiting for you to promote me.
Right.
So, yeah, we were kind of looking for venues before we got engaged. Not that Johanna knew when we were gonna get engaged, but not that Johanna knew that when I was gonna propose her, but she kind of knew that it was gonna be soon. So I don't even remember when that was. That January? It might have been January or something like that. February, early February.
January.
And ew, dude, I'm not even gonna tell them what you just did. You tell them.
I burped a little bit, very gently.
Say that one more time in the mic.
I burped gently.
You burped gently, and then what?
Not out loud.
And then what?
That was it.
And then what, babe?
That was it. Finish your cheesecake,
please. So, yeah, so we were looking for venues and stuff like that because we were kind of like, yeah, we want to get married and stuff. And then we found the current venue now. So we're getting married in October. So we'll get married when we're a year and 2 months in. Actually, a year and a month and some change.
Yes. I do have a question.
Yes.
So you were the youngest and you are the only son in your family.
The only one.
The only one. The anointed one. So you grew up with women, obviously, with your sisters and your mom and stuff. But what is something that you feel like you've learned about women in the time that you have been with me?
That's a great question. What did I learn about women by dating you? So it's actually very interesting because I grew up with women who were this can sound so wrong in so many ways, but I grew up with women. My mom and my sisters are very like, I don't need no man. Right? Like they won't necessarily say, like they're not proclaiming it. Right? But like, so they were not like necessarily emotional, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like I didn't have to I didn't have to take care of their emotions. Like none of the men in my family, which is me and my dad, really thought about like taking care of the emotions of a woman, if that makes sense.
It makes sense.
What do you and we, let me not say I don't really know what my dad did, but I know for me, I never really thought about like catering to the emotions of a woman. And like
women don't have emotions. Right.
Women also don't poop, apparently.
Right.
And they don't fart. And that's a whole nother episode. So so yeah, so I think that was one of the things is like what I kind of came into this relationship thinking. I told her this yesterday too. I told you this yesterday, babe, remember? I said that like when I came in, I thought that you could handle like my energy. right?
Right.
In a way of like, you're not gonna cry, like you're just gonna take it.
I've cried 0 times in our whole relationship.
Man, I wish that was true. Like, not because I'm annoyed, but just because like I've made you cry so many times. Like, and I feel bad. But yeah, so that was one thing that I learned. I learned how to like see your emotions and not even get irritated at it. But like to be like, yeah, this is my wife. This is the person that I'm going to marry, and I need to learn, as opposed to her not being emotional, even though she's strong and she's independent, like even though she's independent, like I have to cater to her emotions and take care of her emotionally, not just financially, not just, you know what I'm saying?
I know what you're saying, dog.
Do you agree that that's something that I have grown in?
Yes, I think so.
I've grown in tenderness and gentleness.
I think that you have. In the beginning of our relationship, you would say a lot of things that I was like, okay, that's like on page 1 of things you don't say to women.
Right.
Handbook.
And I also don't have a lot of relationship experience.
Right. I had a lot of grace for you, especially in the beginning, like certain things that you would say or do, you know, that I was like, okay, any grown man knows. Yeah. That you don't do that. Right. But no, you have grown a lot in that area.
Yeah. And you know, you pushed me to be a better man, and that's all I can ask. That's, I mean, if I wasn't a better man by being with you, then what are we doing?
Right. And I would just like to say that is something that really set Leon apart from other men, because I have had other relationships in the past, and one of the many things that that I feel like has set Leon apart is just his willingness to grow and his willingness to change. He's not somebody who's like, well, this is just how I am. This is how I've always been. And this is the way that my family does things. And I'm this way because of X, Y, Z. You know, I feel like he really has a growth mindset. So that is an area that I can feel safe in bringing things to him. Like, hey, I don't like when you do this, or I don't like this. Mm-hmm. And not that I constantly come to Leon with things like
no, you don't.
that you bother me, but just for the sake of this, or this point, like, you know, I feel like Leon's really somebody that will think about it, and he will change whatever area needs to be changed. And not that you're looking for reasons to change, but I feel like you're open to, hey, if this needs altering, right, I'm going to alter it to become a better person.
And it's challenging because, you know, just because I changed doesn't mean that like it was an easy conversation for either one of us at the beginning. Like, you might bring something up to me and I'm like, bro, like, you're bugging, you know, right? Like, and I wouldn't necessarily say you're bugging, but I would be like, I would act like that, you know, and it would be difficult for me to really, like, you know, but then, and fellas, I would just say that this is why it's important to have mentors. I remember one of our first arguments, I remember what it's about, but we're not going to talk about it because it's just not important. And I remember we had like a very heated discussion about it, and it was like really uncomfortable for me. And I knew I'm doing something wrong. Like, something has to be wrong. And I went to, and this is before we even had a mentor couple. Like, this is what actually made me say we should have a mentor couple. And I went to my mentor randomly one day to his house, and I told him the situation, and he was like, listen, man, you're wrong. And I was so sure that I was right. And he was like, dude, you're so wrong on so many levels. Like, he was like, bro, you need to, he's like, listen, man, this is where you're wrong. And he told me in grace and in love, you know. And same day I came back to Johanna, and we were going to Blaze, which we actually went to Blaze today, which is amazing. But we were on our way to Blaze, and it was super tense. And I told her, I was like, you know, I went to my mentor. At this time, she didn't even really know him. I don't think you didn't really know him like that.
Not really.
You knew of him, but like, yeah. And so I was like, I went to my mentor, and like I talked to him about it and stuff. And he, you know, in talking to him, he revealed to me that like that I was wrong. So I apologize. Like, and I'm really sorry. And like, I'm going to work hard to not make you feel like that again.
Well, and that's also another area that I feel like has really set Leon apart as far as just being a man, that he surrounds himself with people that will have the grace to say, hey man, you are wrong in this area. He doesn't just surround himself with people that will be like, you know what, man, you're right, she's crazy.
Just break up with her.
Yeah, just break up with her.
And I promise you, I would never keep friends. Like, I don't have one friend that's like that. Like,
right. But I think that is so important. And even us women, like, to have, just like an older, more mature man or for men or women for women that will speak into our lives and will say, when we're doing something wrong, when our thought process is wrong, because that is just such a huge part of growth, because that is what this process, the bottom line of our relationship, this process has just been a lot of growth.
Right.
A lot of mindsets, a lot of thought processes,
even expectations.
When we were beginning, even expectations. Yes. Expectations. We could do a whole podcast on it.
Well, can we talk about one expectation that, like, what was the expectation that you had that was kind of, that you realized, not that I shouldn't have, but like, I need to let go of that. And then I'll share one.
Is there one specific that you're thinking about?
Yeah.
Okay, well, why don't you just tell me?
Okay, so this is going to be very funny for you. My expectation that whoever I'm dating should sit there and watch me play basketball for however long I want to play basketball.
Okay.
Her face just now.
Bro. This podcast is going to go forever. That was the first argument. That's when you went.
That's when I went to the mentor. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm just going to tell them what happened in this. Sorry, we're going to air you out again.
Yeah, that's fine.
So we decided to go to the gym. This is when we started going to the gym. And I have a sprint workout that I do on the treadmills. And he said he wanted to play basketball. That's fine. We did it. I do my sprint workout and then I sit in the sauna. And I was like, you play basketball while I'm working out. And then we'll leave after that. We'll go home, cook dinner. I'm exhausted. So we did that one week. Fine. I told him I went into the courts when I was done, and he finished his game after like 5 minutes, and then we went home. Next time that we went there, I was expecting the same thing, and this was after I had worked all day. I worked like 9 to 6, came straight to his house, changed into gym clothes. We went to the gym. I did a sprint workout, which sprinting makes me sweat a lot, as you can imagine. Then I also went and sat in the sauna. So I come into the courts, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, okay, he's finishing his game. This man starts another game.
Okay, backstory. I'm from New York, and like whenever we play, I know people that like they bring their girls to the park and they play, and their girl is just sitting there and like not saying nothing, like, and you're playing for like the whole day, and
Okay,
so anyway,
well,
continue.
I'm sitting there and I am drenched in sweat, and I am exhausted and I'm starving.
Let me just say I was being highly inconsiderate, but go ahead.
Okay, well, so I'm watching him, and I was like, okay, fine, whatever. I love him. Play your other game. Like, so he's like, okay. So then he's playing, finished the game. I'm like, okay, sick, let's go home now. He looks at me, he goes, okay, one more game. Then, so I'm sitting there, and now I'm just, like, annoyed because we've been there for, like, I've been there over an extra hour. And so now I'm purposely looking on my phone, looking super mad. A basketball comes flying through the air and hits me right in the head. And
everybody started laughing.
Everybody started laughing, and I was trying to play it off. I was like, ha ha ha. Now I have an instant headache. Throw the ball back to them. This man looks at me.
Foot in mouth syndrome.
He didn't say, oh, babe, are you okay? You just got hit in the face with a basketball. He goes, are you ready? He goes, well, if you would have been watching your man play basketball and not on your phone, you wouldn't have gotten hit with the basketball.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go ahead. Sorry, I thought somebody knocking on the door. I did say that though, and it was very traumatic.
Yes.
I should have never said that.
So then when we left, he's like, "Babe, are you okay?"
No, I was like, because something was wrong. Like
something was wrong.
Something was wrong, and I really couldn't like tell what was the issue. So we're leaving, and I'm like, "Babe, are you good?" And she's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "No. What is wrong?" And she's like, what is that, dude?
The cat is in the litter box.
Oh my gosh. So she's like, I'm like, what's wrong? And she's like, nothing. I'm like, no. Tell me what's wrong. And I'm like, dude. Then she's like, well, I just feel like that was rude. And I'm like, what was rude? I was so confused. I wasn't even thinking about it. And then she's like, the fact that like I was sitting there this whole time, and I was like, wait, so what did I say? I was like, wait, so we're supposed to leave when you're ready? Like I was
He
on some
said
like
that, you guys. He said that.
I was on
He
some
really
like
did.
complete single man like mindset. Like I'm single, I'm not leaving until I'm ready, kind of situation, or until like the both of us are ready. So, but yeah, and then that started that was actually one of our most heated arguments, and that was the one where the next morning I went to my mentor and I was like, this is the situation. I told him, I was like, yo, I think like that's just kind of selfish, don't you think? And he's like, you're wrong. You are absolutely wrong.
But the bottom line is then he went and talked to his mentor, who he received that, hey, like you're wrong on so many levels.
Mm-hmm.
And he called me and we went out to Blaze and he was honestly like, hey, I apologize, I was wrong. And that means a lot. He wasn't just like, okay, well, I'm wrong, and
Mm-hmm.
she was wrong too,
Mm-hmm.
type of thing, and just move past it. Like he addressed it, and I really appreciated that.
Yeah.
Real men, ladies.
Listen, man, it's important that men have a community of men, especially of older men, and if you're in a relationship, older married men, right?
Right.
And same with women, but I think that especially as men, the enemy likes to. We're Christians, guys, if you're not aware, and our cats are going bonkers, but we're not.
They're two kittens, okay?
Yeah, Princess and Bernard. If anybody's looking for a cat, Bernard is for sale for $0.00. Take him away.
There's nothing wrong with him. It's just that the apartment that we're gonna move into when we.
I'm sorry. Wait. There's nothing wrong with him.
Well, there's nothing that wrong with him. We have to get rid of a cat though, because the apartment that we move into, you can only have 2 pets, and I'm bringing my cat from my parents' house and Princess. So Bernard,
You gotta go.
yeah, he's got to go. He is fine. His IQ is the highest, and his physique is the greatest.
Which means
Anyways.
he's dumb and he's
Fat.
He's bad. He's big. So, but yeah, I think for men, the enemy likes to attack the family unit, and he does that by either taking out the man out of the family unit, or making the fathers and the husbands passive. Right.
Right.
And if you don't, and the reason why they're passive is it's one big cycle, like, because if you have a passive father, you're more likely going to be passive if you're not paying attention. And then like that means that you can't father with some kind of,
I know what you mean.
Like, and so I have the privilege of having 3 fathers, right? My
Right.
biological dad who raised me, my mentor who we were just talking about, and Johanna's dad. Like, Johanna's dad is the newest one, but he's somebody that, like, he is actually going to be my father-in-law. So, but I have the privilege of getting the best of 3 worlds, and so I recognize my privilege, and I'm like, okay, I'm grateful. But there's a lot of dudes out here that are struggling because they don't have fathers, or they have a father but he's not really there. So but I just think it's important that we get to encourage. I'm big on the next generation and stuff like that, and I feel like if I can do the best that I can to look at these younger teenage boys and stuff like that and be like, yo, y'all could do it better. I have 2 nephews and stuff, and like I want them to know, yeah, it wasn't always perfect, but you have the ability and the opportunity to do much better.
Right.
Well,
and I would say for girls too, like it's important to find mentorship in wiser older women that will call you out when you're wrong. You shouldn't just surround yourself with your girlfriends that are gonna be like, oh my gosh, you're right, what a jerk he is, break up with him.
Right.
Like surround yourself with your friends, but I think that you should also be selective about who your friends are, because a lot of my friends also I will come with them when in these scenarios that Leon and I have been in an argument, and I'll be like, Leon did this and said this, and you know, like they'll be like, okay, well, this is what the Bible says. And, you know, and it's also good to have friends that are on the same page as you that are in relationships. Like Leon mentioned before, we're Christians, and so there's different standards, you know, that we're trying to live by. So surrounding yourself with friends that are also in relationship with the same end goal.
Right.
Because, you know, in addition to having like a mentor that, she's available to me, like I can text her if I have a question or a problem. And, so I guess the main point is just surround yourself with people that will give you good advice, not just the advice that you want to hear.
Right.
When you're upset.
Come on, somebody say that one more time for the people in the far back.
For the people in the far back, ladies, if you weren't listening before.
And men too.
Surround yourself with people that are going to tell you the hard truth, not just what you want to hear when you're upset. Because ultimately emotions are going to settle down, and you want somebody that's going to give you good advice, not bad advice that you're going to regret later that might hurt your relationship.
Right. Right. Because, you know, Johanna knows that if I didn't trust that she had friends that was going to lead her closer to Christ and closer to me, but tried to pull her away from me, I would tell her. And I'd be like, bro, I don't really like your friends like that. Not because they're bad people, but they're just not benefiting our relationship. It's one thing if like I was abusing you physically and like, you know, I was actually just being a jerk.
Right.
And like I actually didn't care about you. But it's another thing when, you know, we have human arguments and we have, you know, I'm like, yeah, bro, you need friends that are going to push you in the right direction.
Right. Well, and can I make that point also? It is important to have friends.
Oh my gosh.
I know so many people that get in a relationship and now their significant other is their
not only their best friend, but their
best
only friend
and their only friend and their husband and their support group and their greatest cheerleader and all these things, which, you know, hopefully your significant other is your best friend and your biggest cheerleader.
All those things are great.
However, you cannot alienate yourself from your friends. You have to have a group of friends that surround you for all these reasons we've talked about in the past. Like, you know, Leon knows about once a week I have girls' night. I meet up with my friends separately from him. Not that he's not great and that we love spending time with him, but he is not invited to our girls' parties. But I think it's just healthy because I know girls that it's like they get in a relationship and then you never hear from them again. Right. And now if something goes down or something goes wrong, they have cut themselves off from any support, any wisdom, any friends. And that's just not healthy. So, and that would be an area of concern if you're going to be getting in a relationship with somebody. Look at who their friends are. Look at if they have friends. Look at who they hang out with and what advice they take.
Right.
Because if they're hanging out with nobody or if they're hanging out with people that are not godly or losers, then that is an area of concern.
Yep.
For sure.
Absolutely. And like, I will say that it's not something I struggle with, but like in this season that I'm in right now, I don't really get to see my guy friends like that.
You need to coordinate your guys' nights on my girls' nights.
I do, but so Rona, so I work for a church, and I moved more toward being the church online video editor during the Corona thing, during the shutdown. So my Wednesday nights turned into editing nights. And that was the only night that I really, because Johanna had girls' night, so that was the only night that we weren't together, the only day, really. And so what would have been me going to life group or me hanging out with my guy friends became work and stuff. And like me just being exhausted constantly. So I didn't really get to hang out with my friends. I think the first time I've hung out with my friends in I want to say 2.5 months maybe, or 3 months, was when we went to Blaze that one time with everybody like 2 weeks ago. And it's sad because I miss my friends.
Right. Well, while we're talking about this, side note, we both should be intentional about, you making plans with your guy friends.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
gentlemen, Willie, who are your other
Caleb.
guy friends? Yeah, call out your other guy friends.
Gabe. Yeah, it's
y'all
important.
make plans with Leon.
Yeah. like, and what sucks about it is they actually made plans, but they made plans last minute last week, and told me last minute, and I had already made plans with you. And they went out to eat, and I was like, and I was broke, but but like, and they went out to eat, and I was like, you already made plans, like, but I wanted to go, but I mean, I'm somebody that I don't like to cancel plans, you know.
Well, it was also the date that I found out that I got a new job.
So in this whole quarantine thing, we're gonna talk about this. So in this whole quarantine, like in the middle of it, Johanna lost her job, right? And
it was very sad.
I've
never been fired before.
Yeah, and you never will be again, babe, because
right.
you're great. And anyway. So Johanna lost her job, and it was a very bad experience. And it was also a weird season in our relationship as well. And so Johanna hasn't been working for about like 6 weeks.
Yeah, about 6 weeks.
Yeah. So she was like, I mean, putting out resumes and filling out applications for a job. She didn't even know that, like, she didn't even know. I would be like, so babe, what job did you apply for today? And she's like, I don't know. I'm like,
all of them.
All of the jobs. I didn't know there were so many jobs in Melbourne. And so she finally got a call back from a company that is pretty dope. And they called her back. She had a couple interviews, and she got to like the final interview with the owner, and she's like, babe, like, I'm just so nervous. I'm like, babe, you have one last interview with the owner, like, just mull that over, let that simmer. Right? Like, you got the job, bro. And then so she got the phone call, she got the job, and it's a huge blessing because we're about to get married
in 3 months.
3 months and 6 days.
Right.
Well, as of right now, it's 3 months to 6 days, but I don't know when it's going to be by the time I put this out.
Right.
But
well, I have one more question.
Okay.
What is one thing that you were looking forward to most in marriage?
To be honest with you, like, one of the things I'm looking most forward to the most, there's a lot of things, but I think my thing is honestly just doing life with you. Like, I know it sounds very basic and very but like, in my mind, you know, and this is not even an expectation that isn't mutual. Like, this is something that we've spoken about, but like, you know, in my mind, I'm like, bro, we're about to have an apartment where, like, that we both like, that's spacious, open floor plan, windows open, like, bright and lively, fresh air. You know what I'm saying? Like to me, that excites me. Because it's literally we have a mission and a goal for our marriage, and one of the top things is peace and tranquility. We don't want any kind of stress, which obviously we know we're not perfect, so there's going to be stressful moments, but we don't want to have an environment of stress. We want to make our environment as peaceful as possible, and I think I'm very excited for that, because then, you know, we get to provide something for ourselves that, like, you know, other people had to control before, and now we get to control it.
Right.
It's gonna be great.
Right.
I mean, I'm also excited to be watching Sunday night football.
Right.
With the windows. I don't know why windows open, like, excites me, dude. And the balcony door open. That's gonna be great.
All the insects are gonna come in.
What are you most excited for?
What am I most excited for?
Mm-hmm.
I'd probably say similar, just like doing life with you and not having to leave before.
Oh my gosh.
Before at the end
Talk
of the
about
night.
That. Yep.
It's always so sad, especially if I, like, fall asleep for a few minutes or he falls asleep or something, then you wake up and then it's so sad and you have to get your things, you have to drive all the way back home and go to sleep by yourself.
Johanna lives like 15 minutes away. 15, 20 minutes away.
Yes, it's very, very sad.
Mm-hmm.
And then he'll be at my house, and then he'll leave and go home.
And she'd be trying to make me stay like 30 minutes extra, and I'd be like, babe, I gotta go to work tomorrow.
You're young, you'll bounce back.
Mm.
Well, not that young, actually. He is kind of old.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, but I'm excited to marry you, babe.
I'm excited to marry you, too.
I'm like genuinely excited. Like, dude.
I'm the mostest rat excited to marry you.
Same. I told Johanna yesterday, like, you know, I never would have expected that, like, I would get into a relationship and even be touched in a year. I always thought that, like, that it would be over by now. So this relationship has exceeded my expectations just in the time frame.
Yes.
Alongside other things, like many other things, but you know, I guess I struggle with my self-esteem in that way. And now that we're at 10 months, she's rolling her eyes because she can't understand why I struggled with self-esteem.
Okay, tell me why. This man is talented. He is a musician. He is exceptionally good looking. He is over 6 feet tall. Excuse me. There's some ladies cheering that are listening to this. That's a big one. He is.
I'm a Christian.
He is a Christian, and he got me kittens when we first started dating.
Oh my gosh, I didn't get you kittens. You coerced me to getting kittens.
He allowed me to get kittens, and that's just, you know, the kind of man you want to be with.
So what's your point?
That you have no reason to struggle with your self-esteem.
Yeah, but I struggled with it. And, you know, so anyway, the fact that we're here now is great. I'm excited. And I'm ready to do the next 70 years with you.
Yes, and I hope that it gets weirder and weirder.
It is gonna get weirder
as time goes on.
We were just talking today about how, like, when my parents, cause my parents still live in New York, when they come down, they're gonna realize that things actually just got weirder and they didn't really get more normal.
Yeah, I think your mom had made a comment about that when we were first dating.
We were first dating, and I brought Johanna up to New York, and first night, and we were in my kitchen, and I forgot what we did. I think we were just being dumb. We were being dumb, and my mom was like, "Oh, so like, are you guys this weird all the time?" And we both laughed, and we were like, "Yeah, pretty much." And the crazy part is we actually got weirder.
I can't wait till we're like 90 years old. We won't care about anything or anybody anymore. And we'll just be completely strange. If Pastor David is listening to this, he mentioned why when you're old and married, it's a plus, but we won't talk about it on here.
Yeah, anyway. All right, man. Well, we're going to sign off, but babe, I love you so much.
I love you. The mostest rat.
So if you have any topics that you want us to talk about, as it pertains to relationships and love, and we're not relationship experts at all. Like, we're not psychologists, right? Or race, or like because we are interracial. I'm white, Johanna's black. And
I am proud. I proudly wave the banner of stereotypical white girl as often as I can.
Starbucks
is my favorite.
Out here, pink drink, dragon fruit.
Tell them how I like to order it.
She likes the dragon fruit pink drink, grande, with a venti cup of ice.
You get more for your money.
Listen, man, when I tell you we be leaving the drive-thru, and she has the venti cup of ice outside the window pouring out half of the ice, bro.
You get more drink, okay?
So
it's very cute though for him to pull up to the Starbucks and confidently order my dragon fruit
pink
drink.
Every time. Only for you, babe. Only for you.
No, but that is another. We didn't really talk about it very much in this podcast, but I'm sure we'll
talk
later,
about it again,
especially with the current events going on. But
we actually have a lot to say about that.
We have a lot to say about that, and we are an interracial couple, and that is, I think, an area that we've grown and learned so much, because that's one of the advantages I was talking about in the beginning, because we have the advantage of a little insight into both worlds. And there's just a lot to say about that. Even things like stuff that we didn't necessarily believe or understand before that we now understand or just see more clearly on. Right. For sure. But we'll have another. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to want to know about that, babe. Yeah, but for sure, drop any comments or questions or topics that that we could possibly answer in a next episode.
Right. So my Instagram is _Leon, which is _LEON _BENNETT_. So it's _Leon _Bennett _. And Johanna's Instagram is at Johanna JOHANNA _Skarda SKARDA. Right?
Yes, we'll have to change that in 3 months.
We have to change that in 3 months. But yeah, so if you have any questions about the podcast, or if you have any questions about love, relationships, race, interracial dating, anything, just hit us up, and we will try our best to get. But be looking out for this podcast, and we're just excited to be sharing this with you, and to hopefully to encourage you in relationships and encourage you in love and in the things of God, and and in compromise and in growing and stuff. Hopefully one day marriage. We're not married yet, so we can't really talk to married people about nothing, because they the vets. That's like me going into the army and I'm infantry. All I do is and I'm going up to a Navy SEAL like, yo, let me teach you a thing or two, brother, about how to shoot a terrorist.
As we get married, I'm sure we'll have lots of content to talk about.
I don't even want to start to know what you're talking about.
We're gonna be sharing an actual living space together.
Yes.
And I'm excited.
Yo, her face.
Can I just say one more little story before we cut this off? Okay.
Wait, but no, can you? Okay, whatever. I don't even know.
So I'm in here cooking, and I'm like, okay, do you guys have a washcloth or a sponge or something to wipe off the counters and stuff? And him and the roommate are looking at me like, what? And there's this disgusting, super old washcloth in the sink, and I was like, okay, we're gonna throw this away. Where are your other ones? And they both just look at me, and I was like, what do you guys wipe off the counters with? And Leon goes, sometimes I just wipe it off with a paper towel.
Yeah, you get a paper towel, you wet that joint, you put some soap on it, and it works like a charm.
Well, we're gonna be living together, and Leon's gonna learn a whole bunch of new things, and I'm sure I will too.
I already learned about that. I don't do that crap no more.
All right. Well.
But yeah, so we're signing off. We love you guys, and let us know if you have any questions.
All right.
Love you, babe. How do you feel?
I feel great. I feel like these will get better and better as time goes on.
It will.
Yes.
It's gonna be awesome. All right. We'll see you guys later.
Peace.
Peace.